everybody, I'm Homesteading Barbie. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make this detox activated charcoal soap. I do not like making soap, but I love using my own soap, so I'm going to do it today, and I'm going to show you each step so that you can do it at home too. So the benefits of doing your own soap: most soap that you buy in the store is actually detergent, and it really strips the oils off of your skin, which is great if you're doing dishes or laundry or something like that. But on your face and your skin, you really don't want to strip all of those oils off. You need all those oils. So this is a really great option. It's my absolutely favorite soap to use on my face, and I just love it, and I hope you will too. So let's get into it. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we have all of our equipment and ingredients first. We have distilled water. You want to make sure that it is actually distilled so that you don't have any weird reactions with all of the chemistry that's about to happen. You definitely don't want your water to be the weak link. So just get some distilled water, take all the guesswork out. This is sodium hydroxide. This is the lye that we're going to be using. Sodium hydroxide is for the bar soap, whereas the potassium hydroxide is for the liquid soap. Now I've got 2 glass bottles here. This is what I'm going to measure my lye into, make sure that it's glass, and then I'm going to pour my lye into my water into another glass receptacle. It gets too hot for plastic and it will melt any sort of plastic. I use that. This is my drill that I'm going to be using. Some people use immersion blenders. That works great. I just go through them too quickly. So I attached this, or my husband helped me attach this paint stir to this super powerful Milwaukee drill, and this is what I use that's a lot more durable. I have my stainless steel pot that I'm going to be mixing all of this in, and then outside I have a trash bin that you'll see that keeps it from splashing all over me. I've got my oils. This is my home rendered tallow, and then I also went a step further and I clarified it, and I'll teach you how to do that in another video, just so that it doesn't have any sort of beef smell at all. I'm also going to use coconut oil. You can use any sort of oil, avocado oil or olive oil or canola oil, whatever oil that you're going to be using is perfectly fine. Next, I've got my scale here and something to measure my oils in. I've got these silicone little receptacles that I'm going to be using. This is what they're going to cool in, and this is the mold that it's going to go in. You can use anything. I used to use like a ice cube tray, like one of the big ones, and then I'd cut it individually, so anything will work. I've got my protective gear when I'm dealing with the lye. I've got my eye protection and my respirator, and also my gloves, and I'm also going to be wearing long sleeve shirt and pants and shoes. This is the sodium lactate. This is going to be to preserve it. It's going to last a lot longer if I put just a teaspoon of that in. At the same time that I put that in, I'm going to be using my essential oils. This is apricot peach, and I always like to use a little bit of peppermint. That just gives a little bit of freshness to it. And then this one's going to be my charcoal soap, so I'm going to be putting in my activated charcoal, and that's going to give it a beautiful black color. So we've got our equipment, we've got our ingredients, we're ready to go. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is measure out my oils. I'm going to do 20 ounces of tallow. Doing it by weight is always better than doing it by volume. It's a lot more accurate. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be 20 ounces. Look how beautiful and white that turned out. And it really doesn't have any smell, so that's what you want. Is while the smell might not transfer, it also might transfer. So you just want to take that guesswork out and clarify your tallow. 10 ounces of the coconut oil. Now I'm going to weigh out my lye with 3.88 ounces of lye. That's pretty good. And I'm going to do 11 ounces of distilled water. Okay, and then we're going to put the oils on the stove. I'm going to take my handy dandy digital thermometer. I want them both to be between 120 and 130. So that's already too hot, but I want my oils to be completely melted before I take them out there. And I want to give my lye some time to cool down after I mix it. So that is just about melted. As you can see, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and we'll go outside and mix our lye.
When you're working with lye, you really want to have full protective gear, respirator, eye protection, pants, shoes, shirt, etc. Now it's super duper important to do the lye into water and not the water into lye. When you do water into lye, you can cause an explosion, like a bomb. So you definitely don't want to do that. So always remember lye into water. And you're going to use something that, like a skewer or something like that, that you don't mind if it gets ruined, because the alkalinity of the lye eats everything. So don't use anything metal or even plastic. Wood or glass is your best bet, and it's just, unless it's glass, it's gonna eat, or stainless steel, it's gonna eat whatever you're using. So make sure you mix that up really, really well. And it's going to take a few minutes to cool down, and as it does, you can come back and stir. Make sure that it's really mixing in. And you just keep stirring and checking the temperature, and when the oils and the lye are between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit, then it is ready to be mixed. So I'm just going to slowly pour the lye into the oils. This trash can that I have it in, I have it on a cinder block in there so that it's not heating up the plastic, but it helps with the splashing. This way it won't splash all over you. It's nice if you have a turkey fryer, something that's really long, but I don't have one of those. They're kind of expensive, so this will work. Keep it from splashing all over you. So now you're just gonna mix. You're gonna stir. And this is the part that can get a little bit obnoxious. You gotta have your respirator on and your eye protection on and your gloves on. You don't want this stuff touching you. If it does, like I said, neutralize it with some vinegar right away, but absolutely don't get it in your eye or anything like that. But you're just gonna stir. Keep stirring. It's definitely better if you have some sort of stirring device. If you're doing this by hand, it's probably going to take about 3 hours. So this is cold process soap, so it should take between 20 and 40 minutes of stirring to achieve trace, depending on your ingredients. Seems like forever. So stir, stir, stir. Stir some more. Make sure you're getting all the sides and everything. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's starting to get thicker. It's starting to look more like a pudding. That's what we're looking for. And it's going to start to do what they call trace, which is when you run your mixer across it, it leaves a little trail. That's what you're looking for. Once you have achieved trace, you can put in all of the things that are going to make it smell good and preserve it. So this is sodium lactate. This is going to help it last a little bit longer. I'm just putting in 1 teaspoon. I'm also going to add the fragrances at this time. I'm going to do 6 drops of peppermint oil and 25 drops of the apricot peach. You want to add a significant amount because there's going to be some that's going to be lost in the curing process. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of activated charcoal to make this activated charcoal soap. And then stir all that up once more. Make sure it all gets blended together. With certain oils or certain things that you add to your soap, it may lose the trace, and then you'll have to continue stirring until you achieve trace again. But that did not happen in this case, so all I'm trying to do now is quickly get it to mix together.
Okay, so now, as quick as I can, I'm going to put it into these molds. I'm going to keep my, I don't really need my protection on so much anymore because it's pretty much gone through the saponification process. And the fumes aren't really bad anymore. Now, if it turns out like this kind of thing, that can be really, really pretty in an end product, or sometimes it doesn't look that great. So you just kind of have to make a choice whether you want it to be like that or not. I'm gonna bang it down, get all the air bubbles out, as well as make it really get into the corners. I'm gonna fill these up and then come back. Make sure you get it in all the crevices. You're not trying to make it perfect right this moment. We're gonna do that in just a second. I'm just trying to get it in all the corners, get all the air bubbles out. This is just for personal, so I don't super care what it looks like. I think those white spots, they may look cool, they may not look cool. I don't really care. If I wanted to make it look super cool, I would do half of it black and half of it white and then mix it together. And if I wanted it to avoid that completely, I should have scraped scrape the sides like this while I was mixing. And that would eliminate. But it might look really cool, like I said. So, let's see.
And before we put the cellophane on, we're just going to give it a little spritz of isopropyl alcohol.
Okay, so finally take my gloves off. And I don't need my respirator or my mask anymore because there's no fumes. It's already gone through the saponification process, and nothing can get in my eyes because nothing's going up and get me. So I take some cling wrap and put it on top here. And then I'm going to take a towel and just super gently put it like that. Now, if you live in a super cold climate, you can put a heating pad underneath. I am not going to do that because it's not that cold in my house. So we're just going to let it do its thing, let it harden. It's going to continue to go through the saponification process and just kind of bake in there until we come back. So let's open it up and have a look. Right out. How nice is that? Okay, and so now these pop out so nicely, so easily, and then I'm just going to give it a little spritz with the rubbing alcohol so that it doesn't have that opaque look. And then I'm going to put it on some parchment paper, and it's going to cure for a month. So I do 2 weeks on one side, and then I flip it over and do 2 weeks on the other side, just to make sure that all the lye comes out and isn't in there anymore. So I'm actually pretty happy with how those swirls turned out. They look pretty cool. And I'm pretty happy with the silicone. And they last about 2 years. And it's a really great skill to have. So I hope that you try it, and I hope that you like it. And if you do, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.